Oh yeah, guys, welcome to another find series. This is a field find out of Colorado, 1960 something, Scout 80, and we're gonna dive into it, see what's good, what's bad, and why we bought it. All right, so again, Scout 80, I'm not entirely sure the year. VIN plate's all busted up under the hood. Can't get the driver's side door open, so hard to say. But we can find out some clues from the tailgate, from what would be an emblem on the hood. It has roll down windows, so that's like post 62, 80s, the fold down windshield pre 65. So we're somewhere in that range, soon to be decided. This truck obviously is like, this is the bad side. Missing the fender, missing the door. The other side's kind of busted up. This truck is on the verge of being like where we would say it's a restorable truck, or what we would typically restore. Obviously you can restore anything you want, but it's beyond kind of like the body. You can see on the driver's side, the body is actually pretty decent, but it starts to get into kind of like what we would call the core and the structure rust. So some of the seams and supports and that kind of stuff are a little busted up. That gets tricky where you essentially just have to tear it down to the core. The other things that make these trucks a little bit tough to invest in is, you know, it's going to have manual steering. It's a 4-cylinder original, Dana 27 axles. Not the strongest. So if you're planning on putting big tires, lifting stuff, you got to go through it's drum brakes all around. So typically people want to do a disc conversion, maybe go to Dana 44s or Dana 30 front. If you want to put in a V8, there's like a core support that you have to chomp and push forward, which this one you can see is actually already been chomped out, as well as the brace on the frame. So that can be good and bad, having some of that stuff tweaked and messed with. Again, we're going to try and educate you on what does a stock truck look like, so you can see in the core support that's been cut out. Just kind of investigating what's original, what's been messed with. This truck is a little bit of both. So again, core support was chomped out. This was not originally a half cab truck, so it's got a bulkhead that's rigged out of some other truck. It's got nice bucket seats in there. The dash has obviously been, you're gonna have to full rewire. You know, this is a complete resto, so you're not gonna necessarily get in this and just go get it running over the weekend, obviously, since there's no drivetrain in this. So this one actually, in my opinion, has perfect patina. Obviously you got to find a fender and door if you wanted to do that, which is why I couldn't resist actually buying this one myself. Not that I need another Scout, but everybody knows once you got one, if one's good, two's better. If two's good, three's better. Why not? Keep going, right? So my plan is to just kind of throw it all back to original. We have a decent number of kind of 4-cylinder drivetrain setups, so I'm not going to go anything fancy. I'm just going to stick with Dana 27s for now, kind of drum brakes all around, 4-cylinder, 3-speed. And we'll probably have some other videos as I kind of like try and walk through what it takes to just bare bones get this thing back on the road, get it running and driving for the summer. Okay, so this truck, original paint, just kind of looking throughout, and that's something we've talked about in other videos, how to spot original paint versus a repaint. And so this is all original, got good patina. Obviously busted up in the quarter panel, some of the sheet metal. It's got sort of what we would call like superficial sort of body exterior rust, and then there's also sort of core structure rust. And those are key differences, because this you don't necessarily have to repair. It's simply cosmetic. This kind of stuff is going to cause you bigger problems down the line as some of that structure sort of fades and things sort of crumple and your floors fall out and you're dropping things down the interstate. So two different levels of kind of what's important rust and what's sort of superficial and kind of cosmetic rust. This one's got a balance of both. And yeah, it's got some crumples here, as you can see. You know, looking for dings and dents like this, that means it's obviously in some kind of front end collision, and that's going to have effects kind of trickling throughout. So pay attention to that kind of stuff. Okay, moving to the bed. This is actually a pretty solid bed, actually remarkably solid bed, what I would consider. These open beds are always going to be busted up because people, you know, old farmers just like chucking stuff in there. So they're always going to have dings and dimples and that kind of stuff. If it is flat, you should either be suspicious because something's been replaced, and I mean, you should be able to tell if the ribs are original. But if it's been replaced, start to look at other places. Otherwise, if it's nice, you got a nice truck, you should probably buy that. The other thing that I got with this truck, boom, this bad boy. This was one we actually had sitting around, was just kind of tuned up and waiting for either getting restored or just kind of sold or chucked or whatever. But so I got the pot sweetened on this truck when I bought it, and that was thrown in. So pretty excited about that. I do need a passenger side, well, maybe a driver's side door as well. If you guys have any doors or have any leads on a color matching door, oh boy, we could get some barter system going here. I'm into that. Okay, driver's side of the truck. Again, pretty solid, like all around here. Down here is super classic. This is where that cosmetic rust comes in. Well, and that's obviously through. Ooh, chalky up. But this is all surface rust. I know that lots of people say like, oh, rust free. This is clearly rust, but it's just surface rust. It's not through. Top, kind of the same thing. This is all pretty surface rust. It's you know, there's no holes, no real pitting. It's kind of that good patina rust, as people call it. So check out this bad boy right here, man. A little rear view mirror action. Vertical style, horizontal. That's good. Farmer fab at its finest. Okay, in the engine bay, the 4-cylinder is supposed to be a bulkhead right here. That's been chomped out. You can see evidence of that. And just under that bulkhead, there should be a brace going across the frame. That has also been chomped out, and they welded in this little janky bit here. So it's holding. Obviously, it's not ideal. You don't know if this frame is all wonked or whatever. So this is kind of something to stay away from when you see this. But my plan is to potentially do a chassis swap and kind of get this thing back to original. The other thing you want to stay away from, these big boys right here. Oh my gosh, homemade, not great. Very long, very dangerous, very unstable when you get that high. Ooh, no bueno. Yeah, thanks for joining, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps us bust the YouTube algorithm so we can retire comfortably. Not gonna happen. But again, thanks for watching. See you guys.